and justice for all. Okay, let's begin by seeing if there is any public comment on the consent agenda items. Seeing none, would anybody from the committee wish to pull an item?
Yeah.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Item, the consent agenda has been motion to approve and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda is approved. Brian?
Hi, Fran. Good afternoon, everybody. For the record, Brian McGonigal. Administrative item number 5, I have both, is we're requesting the board approve the actual fiscal year 22-23 rates and fees for the Southwest Florida International Airport, the fee settlement, and any revenue sharing to the airlines. Fiscal year 22 started out with significant passenger growth. We were tracking it real closely every month throughout the year. It started to slow down a little bit in the summer compared to the prior year. However, we finished the year at 11.1 million passengers, our highest year ever. It was no surprise because that's what we were tracking right around there. With that, the passengers were 2.7 more than what we originally projected. We struck this budget back in May of 21. Really didn't know what we were up against, and we didn't expect that much growth this year. So it was a really good year as far as passenger growth. With that growth, non-airline revenues were significantly higher than we projected. Non-airline revenues came in at 88.6 million, 23 more million than what we projected. And it was primarily just in 3 categories. 20 million of it was in 3 categories: rental cars, parking, and the sales in the terminal. So with that, and as far as the operating side, similar to last year, the departments had the green light to spend. However, we did have some supply chain issues again for the second year. So some maintenance items and some vehicles we couldn't get in. So we ultimately spent 90% of our operating budget. We usually spend 95, 97. We spent 90%. For the 3rd year in a row, we did get the Carissa CARES ARPA funds. So we're very fortunate to get those funds, and we used 14 million of it this year. So that brought the rates down. That even helped the airlines even more. So when we compare budgeted revenues to expenses, the landing fee came in at $2.17. We charged them all year long $2.42. The terminal rental rate came in lower at $86 when we charged them $99 throughout the year. So the cost per EP came in at $4, the lowest we've ever seen. As a result, the net funds remaining, you take expenses, revenues minus expenses, we came in at 24.5 million. 60% of it goes to the airport, which is 14 million, and 9.8 going back to the airlines. The airlines also get a settlement between the budgeted fees and what it actually was, and that's going to be an additional 3.2 million. The auditors have looked at everything. They're done. We plan on taking this to the board in January and issue the refund.
Comments?
So we had, with COVID, everything got all out of whack, and we had to raise the fees we charge the airlines pretty significantly because we were afraid there was going to be no passengers. How does this extreme surplus impact those numbers we had in 20 and 21 for the fees charged the airlines?
So,
I'm
Brian,
not sure
if I may, Mr. Chair. So 20 and 21, the fees were higher than what we're talking about, the $4 on an average cost per enplanement. However, they weren't significantly higher because we were able to offset some of the decreases in revenues that we saw, especially during that first year of the pandemic, with CARES funds. And then we started getting in the Carissa and ARPA funds. So I think at the peak of the pandemic, we maybe got into the $6 range. I don't know, did we get into the $7 range? We may have.
In actual,
Yeah,
I don't think we got to 7. I was in the 6.
yeah. So,
Pete, no,
but
he said-
each year does, now getting to the answer to your question, each year stands alone, so there's no impact to those future years. Those years have been settled, they're gone, they're now benefiting obviously from lower fees going forward. This year's budget, 2023, they're paying higher than that $4 now because these are the final fees and settlement for last year. This year, their average cost per employment is around $6.50 is what we budgeted. So,
But
does that
they get
answer
they get 40% of that excess, right?
They get
Yes.
40% of the
Everything back.
excess, and they also are receiving their, the difference between the budgeted fees that they paid us during the year and the actual fees that were calculated as a result of actual expenses. So they're receiving both a refund on their fees and a net revenue portion, 40%.
Super, great job.
I move the item.
Before we move the item, is there any comment from the public? Go ahead.
I move the item.
I'll second.
Item's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you. Number 6, we're requesting the board approve a 4th amendment to the airline airport use agreement with United Airlines. United Airlines wishes to add 650 square feet in the front of the house at the ticket counter and an additional 1,197 square feet below Concourse C. They're bringing in some maintenance folks so that we got them some nice space down there. So that requires board approval.
When somebody requests 650 feet upstairs and 1,100 downstairs, where do we get that space from?
Well, we had it available up, there was an office next to United that was not being used upstairs. They took it, they're fixing it up a little bit. And then down below Concourse C is new space that the Aircom is going to with the terminal expansion project. And next to it, there was 1,100 square feet that was available to anybody. So they came to us about 6 months ago and they said, this is perfect, so. we're
But
glad.
generally, we don't have space
Not a
sitting
lot.
around waiting for
We don't
somebody
have
to
a lot,
lease it.
we don't have a lot, no.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
pretty tight, yep.
I'll move that.
Before I accept the motion, any comment from the audience?
I'd like a clarification from Mark. These 3 items that the one we're doing now and 2 after this, do those have to go out to public comment because there's no money involved in it? It would seem to me that we would go to a direct vote without public comment on those 3 items because there's no money involved, and the law is, when there's money involved, we get public comment.
No, which items are we talking about? The
The one
current
we-
item and
Six,
What we're
7, and
talking
8.
about right
7 and 8?
now. Yeah, 6, 7, and 8.
Well, the reason that 6 and 7, which are amendments to existing leases, are on the administrative agenda that require individual vote. You're talking about, you look at it cumulatively, and the law applies not only to agreements, but also any amendments to those agreements.
Okay.
So if you look at the airline use and lease agreements with the various airlines, then cumulatively, I believe that each one of those exceeds the statutory threshold. So any amendments would also have to be on the administrative agenda. As far as 8 is concerned, I know we're not quite there yet, but
Yeah.
that is a lease that would exceed the threshold that kicks in and requires that it be placed on the administrative agenda
Okay, thank you.
by
for
state law.
Clarification. Thank you.
Any other discussion from the committee?
I'll move the item.
I'll second it.
Item 6 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 6 carries. Item 7, Brian.
Yep, thank you. This one is very similar. This is a Fifth Amendment to the airline airport use agreement with Delta Airlines. They are adding a curbside check-in, or a small little check-in on the curb. And this takes into account the temporary closure that we're going to do on Gate C2 with the construction project. So this takes that into account too for them.
Any discussion from the committee?
No. Nope.
Any comments from the public?
I'll move the item.
Item's been moved
Second.
and it's seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 7 carries. Item 8, Brian.
Thank you. Yeah. Item 8, we're requesting the board approve a Southwest Florida International Airport food, beverage, and retail concession lease with Host International. Little background here, since RSW opened in 2005 in the current terminal, Host has operated most food and beverage concessions. This agreement expires in 2023, and then Parodies has operated all of our retail. The terminal expansion project now in progress allows for significant increase in the size of our airport concessions, as you know. So the board has endorsed last November of 21 of us retaining Parodies and Host. Parodies we already took to the board 2 months ago. Now here is Host. They both go out to December of 2035. At the end, when they're all done with the build out, Host will have 11 food and beverage units and 1 retail. The MAG will be anywhere from 12 to 22%, depending on what unit it is. And just as you know, we're on the street for the 3rd hybrid package, and that is due at the end of January. So we're looking forward to get that. So, any questions on
Discussion? Noel?
How much space is gonna be left available for the third?
The third one is about 14,000 square feet. They're going to be the smaller of the 3.
So it'd be the smaller.
Yep, but it's still a good size.
Is that enough for the economically feasible?
Yeah, it is. We believe there's a lot of interest in that, and they're going to get that food court, or marché, if you want to call it, on the right going towards Concourse B, Bravo. So it is, I've asked that, it is kind of a sweet spot. They'd probably want a little more, but it doesn't scare too many people away with only being 14,000.
Thank you.
Randy?
Is this lease covering their existing space plus what they're gonna get, or just the new space?
Both. Both, yep. It takes into account existing and new, yes.
And when's the new space gonna be available for them actually to use?
After the terminal expansion project is complete, so that is scheduled end of '24.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I mean, it's gonna vary. I mean, it's gonna depend on the phasing of the project and when the various, locations become available. So it's really dependent upon that. So we don't have any specific dates. I mean, there may be some,
2 to 3 years is the window.
be sooner than that. I mean, we'll probably be turning over some of the locations before that, because obviously they have capital improvements that they have to make. But certain areas will be turned over at different times when they become available. So.
Further discussion? Oh, Robbie?
This is all very exciting to see it. Just every phase that comes about, because I remember this original presentation. And looking at some of the proposed tenants that they have, which were a lot of
Yeah.
locals.
Yep.
With everything that's gone on, they're still in, right?
They're still in. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
They're very much in,
Be
yes.
coming out here for lunch and dinner. If I can get through the airport.
We just had to get their attorneys to sign this lease, and we finally got it.
Any further discussion from the committee? Any comment from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move the item.
A second.
Item number 8 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 8 carries.
Thank you.
Number 9, Brian.
Thank you very much. Number 9, requesting the board approve a recognition agreement and a memorandum of ground lease with Avco RSW Cargo. If you recall, back in November of '21, the board approved a ground lease for construction. Then last month, Avco came to us and they wanted to expand the size of their building. We were glad to do that. It went from 2.5 acres to 3.5 acres. What this does today is they are seeking a mortgage lender. That requires our consent. The terms of that mortgage, that loan application requires our consent. We agree with everything, and it just requires board approval. So we're happy to do that for them.
Any discussion from the committee?
That's the
Randy?
building on the old terminal site, basically?
That, in the old terminal site, that's the building we're taking down, the air freight building, and this new one is coming on this side over by the remote loading dock. And I spoke to the gentleman this morning, and they plan on fencing it off next month. And they're waiting on one permit, and they plan on starting construction around February.
Okay, sorry, I was a little confused, but just as an aside, what's the status on the large hangar that was being built over by the terminal that we were working on leases and stuff
Intrepid?
at one time?
I'm assuming Intrepid.
Is it the maintenance, repair, and overhaul?
Yeah.
It was, where we were gonna have like 200,000 square foot.
Yeah, we're still waiting on them. That's, the ball is in their court, and that's Intrepid Aerospace we have a lease with, and they're currently, right now paying us construction period rent. And they're still searching, and looking for financing to get that project off the ground.
So
But they are paying us rent.
We're making a little bit of revenue on the land
Yes,
as
sir.
of right
Yep.
now.
Yes, sir.
Super.
Further discussion from the committee?
No.
Seeing none, any public comment? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Item number 9 has been, have a motion and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, item 9 carries.
Great, thank you.
Number 10, Brian.
Yeah, number 10, we're requesting the board approve a modification to the lease with the State of Florida Department of Financial Services. This entity leases 2 units from us over at Pagefield North. That's the building next to the tower that used to be the former terminal building. This company, Department of Insurance, Department of Financial Services / Department of Insurance, they've been a good tenant. They've been there since 2003. They got one suite is 5,100 square feet. The other suite's 3,100 square feet. The lease expires in March in a couple of months. They have one more option to extend it out 5 years. We're happy to do that. It went from $13,000 a month to almost $15,000 a month for the next 5 years. So they want to stay.
Discussion from the committee?
Just a question, what's going on with the rest of that building?
It's full. FDLE is in there. Ace Hardware. Yep, it's full. Needs some work, though. Had some damage. So.
Any further discussion from the committee? Any public comment? I will entertain a motion.
I move the item.
Second? I can't did somebody second it?
Second, sorry.
Okay, item number 10 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, item 10 carries. Item 11, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. Item 11, we're requesting the board approve a 5-year agreement with Alliance Insurance Services for insurance broker services. We advertised RFP back in April. You saw 2 presentations a few months ago. Alliant was chosen as the number one. We negotiated agreement. This is a 5-year professional service agreement for insurance broker services for $78,000 per year.
Discussion from the committee?
I said I won't discuss anything regarding insurance today.
Thank you.
Any comment from the public? I'll entertain a motion.
I move the item.
I'll second it.
Item number 11.
Thank you.
Has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 11 carries. Item 12, Steve.
Good afternoon. For the record, Steve Hennigan. Item 12 is a request for board approval to purchase 4 ADA passenger shuttle buses from Creative Bus Sales for $527,092. These buses would be received no later than September 30th, 2023. This purchase would allow us to replace the 4 existing ADA buses at RSW that are reaching the end of their useful life. Any questions?
Discussion? Comment from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Item number 12 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 12 carries. Item 13, Steve.
Administrative agenda item 13, request board approve the purchase of 18 new patrol vehicles for the airport police department, piggybacking 2 separate contracts. The first is the Florida Sheriff's Association contract with Garber Ford, and the second contract is the Lee County contract through Sam Galloway Ford. The total cost is $1,727,306. We've also included a 10% contingency fee for a total not to exceed $1.9 million if those contingency funds are needed.
Discussion from the committee?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious, this comes out to almost $100,000 a vehicle. What kind of specialized equipment do these cars have on them that they cost so much money?
They're various, it ranges from the lights to the computer system, ballistic doors, some of the storage unit. Each vehicle is a little bit separate, but they're all purpose-built for this, for the police. So, you know, a printer, you know, you'll have a thermal printer, you'll have the computer, you'll have the connectivity for the computer. It's not just, you know, an off-the-shelf item.
So they come fully loaded with all the communication gear and all of it?
No, they will after we receive delivery and Lightning Wireless installs everything.
You have to install all that?
Yes. So you essentially get a vehicle shell, so to speak, and then we uplift it per the police department specifications.
What's it gonna be the cost of these add-ons?
It's about half, so about $45,000 on average per vehicle.
So they're gonna cost us about $145,000 a vehicle?
No, the vehicle, the base vehicle cost is about 60.
Okay.
And, or 55, maybe somewhere between 50 and 60, and then you put another about $45,000
okay.
worth of uplift on it. That brings it up to about $100,000 a vehicle.
Okay, great.
I'll move the item.
I'll second.
Yeah.
I just have a question.
Yes.
I saw it and I forgot. How many miles per vehicle do we get before we move them out?
It's a calculation coupled with, you know, it's miles, idle time, as well as how much money went into it. So it typically averages out to right around 100,000 miles, if not a little more, because you have idling time. So vehicles that idle, that counts towards engine time. So, you know, 100,000 mile vehicle will actually, you know, there's a multiplier, which actually ends up with almost triple that.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Mhm.
Any further discussion for Randy?
Yeah, I'd like to remind my colleague, he must not have bought a car lately.
What'd he say?
I'm not seeing anything much less than 80 or 90,000 out there, so,
Yeah, I said that on this end too to Mark. I said, I don't think he's bought a car.
All right, I'll call this committee to order. Any further discussion on the item? Public comment? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move the item.
I'll second it.
Okay, item 13, moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, item 13 carries.
Thank you.
And Emily, item 14.
Good afternoon. For the record, Emily Underhill. Administrative item 14 requests acceptance of a grant from the Florida Department of Transportation in the amount of $1,880,893 to provide funding towards a new RSW air traffic control tower. This brings FDOT's participation to date to $26.3 million.
Any discussion from the committee? Public comment? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. Item number 14 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 15, Emily.
All right, item 15 requests acceptance of a grant from the Florida Department of Transportation in the amount of $2.5 million to provide funding towards new hangars and a ramp expansion located in the southeast quadrant at Page Field. This brings FDOT's participation to date to $3,025,000.
Discussion from the committee? Public comment? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Item number 15 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, item 15 carries. Item number 16.
All right, thank you. Item 16, the Port Authority currently holds continuing contracts with two firms serving in the role of the Port Authority's construction manager, general contractor. These firms provide construction-related services on a 3-year continuing basis for individual projects or tasks that have a value of $4 million or less. As the term of the current contract will expire in March of 2023, a solicitation was recently undertaken to select two firms for this contract. Last month, you shortlisted 4 firms to potentially serve in the role as one of these two construction manager general contractor firms. All 4 firms are here this afternoon and are prepared to present their respective resumes and qualifications for your consideration. So if there are no questions of me, I will turn it over to Melissa to begin the presentations.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Melissa Wendell, Senior Procurement Manager for Lee County Port Authority. And as Deputy Executive Director Underhill stated, we will hear presentations today from 4 different firms for LOQ 2266, Construction Manager, General Contractor Services. Each firm is going to have 10 minutes for their presentation, followed by unlimited questions and responses to those questions, and then a 1-minute summary. So I would like to invite our first presenter, which is A Squared Group Incorporated. Mr. Al Rebus will be presenting. He's the project executive.
Good afternoon.
Why don't you wait 1 second, please?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you may begin, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to present before you, and thank you for shortlisting us on the CM program.
May I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. So my name is Al Rebus. I'm the project executive. I'm here also with Tracy Jacobs, AJ Rebus, as well as George Caravan.
Thank you.
So we will. A-Squared's been in business 28 years. We've had offices, we do have offices in Orlando as well as Miami and Port Charlotte. And we do have a significant amount of work that we've done all the way from Collier County all the way up to Sarasota on the West Coast. The office that will be managing this is the office located in Charlotte County, which is fairly close to RSW as well as Page Field. I'll get into a little bit more of our specialization in terms of staffing and availability. But first, our firm is not only a general contractor, we're also engineers, architects, landscape architects, and utility and general contractors. So there's a lot of added value for a lot of the projects you'll be seeing that we provide the aviation industries, dating back almost since the mid-90s on some very large aviation programs. The firm has 3 divisions. We have our construction and CM division, our CEI division transportation-wise, and our aviation CEI division as well. These are some of the past projects that we've done. They're very large programs that we've done throughout the Caribbean as well as throughout Florida, including MIA, PBI, Orlando Executive, which includes the General Airport at McCoy. It's similar, Executive is similar to your Page Field as well. Done a lot of work for the Navy too. A-Squared is a DBE as well as an MWBE, and more importantly than that, and I think it was a question that you all asked, and a lot of our projects that have their similar goals, we believe in passing forward a lot of the success. So a lot of the projects that have the goals for DBE, we've been able to accomplish 35 to 55%, and that is over and above a lot of the percentages given to A-Squared as well. So it's passing forward the torch, if you may, of having the success of nearly 30 years. For this particular project, as I mentioned, I am the project executive. Our project manager today, unfortunately, is in Gainesville on a family emergency. Chris Kiefer's been with us since 2017. Chris did pass on to me a statement I'd like to read. He says, "I'm sorry that I cannot fulfill my obligation today. Thank you for your understanding. We really wish their family well, but he's had a medical emergency family-wise, so that's the only reason Chris isn't here." Chris has been with us since 2017. He has been instrumental in the program that we're doing over at Orlando International that has included over 57 projects. You'll see most of them now. 43 have been our prime projects. Several others have been emergency, and others have been as a subcontractor as well. I myself have been the senior project engineer on many of the projects as well on this program, which I'll be able to demonstrate to you. Chris is a graduate of University of Florida. He's also a general contractor. He has extensive experience, airside, landside, on all the projects that he and I have worked on together. And based on what we understand of your program and what your needs are, I think that Chris would be an extremely added value to you all here. I've got over 40 years of experience. I think a lot of my experience has been in public service over the last 40 some odd years. In support of this, AJ as well as Yasmin are other project managers that would be in support of what we do on all our different projects, and they are available as well to assist, although it seems from understanding your program that looking at the past years that a lot of the work effort is going to be concentrated on smaller projects, but we do have the resources and staffing available to us. as well. Jacob and George that's here, they can support as far as superintendent work on the projects that you have. A lot of our project experience, as I mentioned, it starts with Orlando recent. This is recent since 2015. And we've done 57 projects. It's actually 58. We're finishing the final acceptance this week on one in Orlando. And it includes similar projects. A lot of the similar things that we've seen at executives, I think, is the items that you may see at Page Field as well. This is a detailed listing of some of the projects that we've done. More importantly, these are now how those projects relate to the relevant representative projects that you all have moving forward. And you can see we have a significant amount. Our average annual amount of projects is $15 million, an overall program of over $75 million over the last 5 years at Orlando. Again, we understand that these are your representative projects, and I'll just go through a few lists that we had prepared. These are the airfield improvement projects that we have completed, and both this is at Orlando Executive, so it doesn't matter whether they're large or small projects. This is pavement repairs as well, with a lot of the Econocrete that we've done adjacent to a lot of the terminal work. This is the ancillary work, includes fencing, a lot of security issues and lighting for rental cars. Pretty large project as well. It's almost 6 football fields, this project. It doesn't look that big, but it's a pretty big job. In the infield of the airport, the ARF building in support of the fire rescue facility inside. We just finished this. This is basically includes building expansion as well as other work adjacent to. So we're used to working in the airfield side and all of the other active airport areas. This is for the Navy Air Taxiway Alpha 3 that we worked on as well. This was design build, so we did the design internally, did the construction. MIA, another hangar that we did, we're up building for MIA. And just wrapping up, we do understand a lot of the FAA and the DOT requirements as far as your federal requirements. It's very important that all of the airports use as much federal dollars as we can. And in doing so, you need a firm that understands a lot of the requirements and so forth. Nowadays, they don't call it Buy America, they call it BABA, which is a recent term this year they've come out with. So we know how important it is that when we buy the materials for your project, they meet all the requirements so we can get every single dollar that's possible for you all at the closeout of the project. Some of the local projects that we've done includes some of the parks for, the Rosa Parks for Lee County here. I think there was mention that we haven't had a lot of local projects, and it's true that we are looking at a couple of other projects. We're also starting work on the Emergency Operations Center here in Lee County as well. So our presence is starting to grow in this area significantly. And these are some of the other local projects. As far as why is A squared, I guess the most important thing is we know airport work. We started doing airport work in the mid-90s. We've completed recently, in the last 5 years, 60 projects alone in this type of miscellaneous construction projects. We've got a lot of the local staff that's available. Chris can be fully dedicated to this project, although understanding the budgets, I think it's going to possibly be part-time, which is great for us to get introduced and be familiar with what your all's needs are. We're bonded up to $60 million. I'm sure this isn't that type of work, but we do have the capacity and the personnel to do it. And we're committed to upholding all of the airport's patron experience. We know how important that is. It doesn't matter what airport it is. Having the patron experience is super important, whether it's in the air side or the land side. That's something that we think is paramount to be able to continue to have. And a lot of times our services are met without any type of issues concerning personnel or concerning pedestrian MOTs. We're always cognizant of our work has to be viewed in the light where it still is a proper environment for those using the airport. The other thing is understanding that we're a DBE and possibly in some of the federal work in any way that we can assist with regard to those DBEs. A lot of the total amount of our contracts can sometimes be helpful depending if they're state or federal dollars. But with that, I'll open it up to any questions. And again, thank you for the opportunity.
Discussion from the committee? Questions?
How many staff do you have here in your Southwest Florida office?
So we have less than 10 staff members, but we've got 5 other projects coming online. And as we typically do, there's several people wanting to actually get out of the Miami area and move up to this area. So I think we'll probably go by 2 or 3 other people here locally.
Other discussion? You may sum up.
Okay.
You have a minute.
Thank you. Perfect. So I think one of the things, even though we haven't had the opportunity to work here, we are definitely willing and able to, as we've done throughout all of our public experience over the last almost 30 years. Whenever we've had an opportunity to go in, we've been usually able to stay there. And I think that's a testament to our people. We'll bring good people to the forefront here to be able to support you all in whatever capacity is necessary. And this may be the perfect contract on smaller jobs to come in and show our capabilities that we've been able to do on other airports. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you.
All right, our second presenter today is Owens, Ames, and Kimball Company, and I'd like to introduce to you Matthew Zwak, President.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Are you ready?
Okay, go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you so much for inviting us to present to you guys today. For the record, I am Matthew Zwak. I'm the president of Owen Ames Kimball down here in Southwest Florida. For those of you that don't know OAK, I'm going to give a quick introduction to our company. First of all, we've been in business for over 130 years. The company actually started in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but has been headquartered here in Southwest Florida, right in Fort Myers, for the last 40 years. We have a full-time staff of 49 people here in Southwest Florida. So that's very important to show that we have a very deep bench right here locally. We are also an employee-owned company, which is a very important thing as well, because it means that every single person that works for our company has a vested interest in the successful outcome of all of your projects. And we are also very excited about all aviation-type projects. We love to give back to this wonderful community that has served us so well. I'm very proud to say that we support more than 50 local organizations on an annual basis with our time, our talent, and our resources. And we also support the aviation industry. We love supporting Page Field Aviation Day. Of course, going to all the events and seminars at the Florida Airports Council is very important. And attending and supporting the Southwest Florida International Air Show is also a very fun time. We truly are your aviation specialists. We have completed more than 275 aviation-based projects here in Southwest Florida over the last 22 plus years. And that's, that's pretty amazing. We've worked at almost every single airport here in Southwest Florida, including all of the airports listed there. And we are the first local contractor to have installed an engineered materials arresting system. This system was installed at the Venice Airport. And we're literally your neighbors. Our office is less than 10 minutes away from this building and less than 25 minutes away from Pagefield. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Abel, your dedicated project manager.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, my name is Abel Natali. I'll be your dedicated project manager and main point of contact. Being an OAK, at OAK, we have an internal protocol for training that is inherent because of our experience in the aviation world. We know the security protocols that are required. So anyone that's onboarded gets introduced to this training, as well as some contractors who are working in and around the environment at Pagefield and RSW get enhanced training and in-house badging so that we know that they've gone through the training. We're very proud of our quick and efficient emergency response capabilities. This is an example of us at Taxiway Foxtrot a few years back at RSW when a depression formed. We came and worked with your staff here at the Port Authority 24/7 to make sure that that taxiway was reopened prior to the Christmas holiday. More recently, when a United aircraft landed and a couple tires blew out, we were called upon to come and just offer support however we needed to. United ended up bringing their own crews down to move the aircraft, but we were there for the Port Authority at no additional cost, just to be supportive and help out in any way we could. We have 10 actively badged individuals, so we have that deep bench that Matthew talked about, so we can service any projects that come our way. We have a vast local subcontractor database of local DBE, WMBE firms. We understand that the Port Authority's mission statement and the importance of that program. So we regularly meet and exceed those goals. This is one of the latest projects that we did, the more recent ones. The TSA checkpoint modification project. The goal was 6%. We were able to achieve and exceed that by 18%. These are some other examples of some projects that we've undertaken where we've consistently exceeded the DBE goals. After Hurricane Ian, the Port Authority called us, and we were proud to help them out, help you guys out at Pagefield, helping with the debris cleanup and demolition of some structures that were damaged through the hurricane to get you guys back and operational. Attention to detail ensures successful completion, even working with third-party vendors, evaluating existing conditions. This was an instance where we installed the infrastructure at the beams up in the atrium where the artists could come in and display their artwork a few years ago, and that was a very successful project. We made sure to have those conversations with that third-party vendor to make sure that everything was fully coordinated. No job is too small for OAK. We're there for you anytime you need us. 50% of the completed projects under our last continuing contract term were completed under $10,000. In our last contract term, we completed 24 projects, totaling about $1.5 million of revenue. Each one of those was on time and on budget. The TSA checkpoint reconfiguration project that I mentioned prior, that was a project that we undertook in very close coordination with TSA, kept them fully operational at all times. We worked, nighttime when we had to, and even during the day, to make sure everything went smoothly in that project. We strive we protect the financial interest of the Port Authority at all times. In that, we've never initiated a contractor-initiated change order. We understand and are sensitive to impacts to revenue sources. This was an example of us doing some restoration work at the parking garage, which we know is an important revenue source. We worked to mitigate the number of parking spaces we had to cordon off so that during season time, you guys could take full advantage of that revenue source. The continuing contracts is a valued cornerstone of our business. We have a long-standing relationship with the Lee County Port Authority, and we hold a number of different continuing contracts with other local public agencies. And because of that, we're very well suited to perform as your construction manager, general contractor, In this particular instance, we know that we are an extension of the Port Authority, so we have to comport ourselves that way, always with your best interest at heart. And now I'd like to go into why OAK. Because of our vast experience in the aviation industry in this Southwest Florida marketplace, we're very familiar with the Lee County internal protocols, Lee County Port Authority's internal protocols as it relates to construction regulations and keeping in tune with bid procurement cycles. We also are very familiar with working with your third-party funding agencies, FAA, FDOT, TSA, to ensure we meet all of their requirements as well. The average tenure in our company is 13 years, so you have continuity of who you can pick up the phone and call at any hour of the day. We have a fully qualified, very deep staff on hand. And as I mentioned before, we have our in-house self-perform capability. We understand that this contract is not about self-perform work. However, in those instances where it seems to benefit the project, we can be there with our own equipment. And as Matthew mentioned, we're stewards of the community that have given back so nicely to us as well. So we support on many occasions not only events in the aviation community, but elsewhere throughout our community. And last but not least, this is our home. Lee County Port Authority is our longest standing aviation client, and we very much look forward to continuing the relationship that we've built over the years and working in partnership with your organization. And our commitment to you is that we'll provide on time, on budget, and fully coordinated projects throughout this entire contract term and beyond. And now we'd like to take any questions you might have.
Questions from the committee? Okay, guess there's no questions. Go ahead and sum up if you would, please.
Sure.
You have a minute.
Sure. To summarize, we truly are on your team. The relationship that we've had with the Lee County Port Authority is very, very long. In fact, that relationship that we've been working together is longer than both Abel and I have been with the company, and that's pushing 17, 18 years. So it's a partnership that we value very much, and we do not take for granted at all. We want you to know that you truly can count on us. OAK has always been here for you. We always answer the call anytime you call, and we want you to know that we're ready to answer that call anytime in the future that you call us. And OAK has always been a partner that you can trust, and Abel and I can assure you that is going to remain for a very, very long time. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I feel like Steve should be standing there. I just think of him as they okay. No, I'm not. He was so good.
Thank you.
All right, our third firm to present is Half Acre Construction Company, and I'd like to introduce to you Brett White, Senior Project Manager.
Good afternoon. For the record, Brett White, Senior Project Manager, Half Acre Construction. I want to thank you for letting us present today and shortlisting us for this contract. Just a brief overview of what we'll be going over, give you a little introduction to Half Acre, our knowledge of the sites and local conditions here at the airport, our approach to pre-con and construction, and why Half Acre. Our staff here, myself, Brett White, Senior Project Manager, Half Acre Construction. I also have with me Jack Cox, who is our owner and president, and Jim Nikolazakis, who is our Senior Superintendent. Just a brief overview of Half Acre. We've been in business 53 years. One of Southwest Florida's oldest contractors. We employ full-time 37. We've had 30-plus airport projects, and 100% of our team lives and works here in the community. We have 1,000+ continuing works projects over different municipalities and airports, ranging from Collier County to Tampa. Here's a list of some of our continuing services that we currently hold and projects that we have completed with the Charlotte County Airport Authority, Lee County Port Authority, Manatee County Port Authority, and Hillsborough County. And continuing on to Sarasota County, Sarasota Braden International Airport, and some of our school district continuing work that we currently have. We work in a lot of high-security active facilities in the last 5 years, 30+ airport projects, over $60 million, and 43 of those 55 projects are under $1 million. Our proposed staff, which is also our current staff, we are the incumbent contractor for this contract, which we currently hold for the last 3 years. Myself, Brett White, the senior project manager, the day-to-day person running the projects. Jack's on our executive committee. Reed Geison's on our pre-construction team. We have our office staff, April and Kim, and then our operations team, Jim, who's my lead superintendent here for the Port Authority, and Jerry Chrysler, who's here when he needs backup. Our team of Jim and I, we're driven by smaller project management ethos, which means experience and continuing work on a smaller project delivery. This contract, you know, we've had any projects ranging from under $50,000 to some up to $500,000. We're very experienced with what needs to be done, and you know, Jim and I, is what you see is what you get. We don't switch, flip-flop around. We're the project manager and superintendent. We could offer 24/7 staff coverage. We're here when you call anytime. I know some of the projects we've done with the TSA and security needs to be done overnight, which we have accomplished. Facilities and awareness, we know working here at RSW, working in secured areas, Jim and I are both SIDA badged. We've had projects here at Pagefield and RSW and have relationships with staff. Common areas and public work, we understand the protocols and expectations of the LCPA. Working at an active facility, obviously here at the airport, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of staff, and a lot of visitors. We understand what it takes to work in secured areas, putting up protection and barriers, understanding traffic patterns at peak hours where we can lay down equipment. The past 3 years we've had this contract, we've gotten a lot of experience doing that. Pre-construction approach, you know, when we're given a job, we get the negotiation sheet, we get all that finalized. We go to the meetings, we get approval, and move straight on to the construction. You know, once it's approved at design time, communication is the key with budgeting, cost control, scheduling, and so forth. On our bidding, we understand the bidding and public projects on how we have to go out for public invitation. We want to use as many local contractors as we can. With our 50+ years of experience, we estimate 90% of the subs that we use are from Lee, Charlotte, and Collier. We focus on DBE, WMDE contractors to meet all of our goals with financing from the DOT, FAA, and so forth. Budgeting, like I said, once approved at the DIRT meetings, we want to put together budgets with airport staff, get approval, use a proactive approach to avoid budget overruns. Our value management, I know a lot of times in construction, you're used to the term value engineering. We like to use value management. It's the way we manage our projects. It's a team effort. You know, during pre-construction, smaller jobs, there's not necessarily a lot of cost savings. This is one we've been working on currently, is the redesign here of the boardroom. Construction approach with communication. We use the Procore system with construction management software. It organizes everything, pre-construction all the way to closeout. It's the way we interface with our architects, engineers, and owners. Keeps everything organized. A couple slides from Procore. Site communication, keeping the public updated what's going on with our digital signage, schedules of events, keeping everyone updated is a very important part of the process. This here is a site plan of one of our projects. Just shows vehicle accesses and how we're going to show the public and everything, similar to what we would do here. Communication during construction. We hold a lot of weekly meetings with owners, subcontractors, safety. Scheduling. putting scheduling together. You know, some schedules on these smaller contracts, they don't have to be, it's comprehensive, but we can schedule out as far as we need to. Safety and security, experience working on active sites. All of our supers and PMs are OSHA trained. All projects include site-specific safety plans, hurricane preparedness plan, and third-party OSHA markup inspections. Half Acre Construction has an EMR rating of 0.81, which is well below the industry standard of a 1. Some of our safety and security protocols. Another picture, Jim, my side is badge. Closing out a project is very important. We want to punch out the project as we go along to minimize punch list items at the end, provide you digital as-built, building commissioning if applicable. And why Half Acre? We're knowledgeable and dedicated staff, and we're the only incumbent firm here. Extensive continuing works on smaller project experience, thorough understanding of airport sites and local conditions. And we have a proven success with LCPA and our commitment to quality and safety. We are available and ready to work. Like I said, we're here for you 24/7. After the hurricane, we were called upon for the freight building, which was in damage. We showed up the next day. Within a week, we had the building operational and back going where they could operate out of there again. So like I said, we're here on call. Our office is 30 minutes away, and we're here ready to go to work, and I'd like to open it up for questions.
Any questions from the committee? Go ahead.
Not so much a question, just sort of an interest on how you picked your name, Half Acre. Does that have a meaning or something?
Our founder, his name was Bill Halfacre. And
Oh, okay.
Bill was a great guy. He actually sold the business to my dad in 1984 and signed a 3-year management agreement and stayed for the next 25 years.
Okay.
So just a great guy.
Interesting, yeah.
For the record.
I'm sorry, I'm Jack Cox. I'm the president of Halfacre Construction.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Seeing none, you can wrap up. You have 1 minute.
Well, again, thank you for the opportunity. I think it's been a great partnership the last 3 years. I'm very proud of what our team has done down here, and hopefully we can continue to work for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, they're setting up.
You'll take a break?
All right,
all right.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I do too.
Ready, Dave? Okay. All right, our fourth and final firm presenting today is Gulf Point Construction Company Incorporated, and I'd like to introduce you to Tommy Huther. He's the vice president.
Need to wait on Randy, or are we good to go?
Oh, go ahead.
All right, good. All right, I want to start off by thanking you guys for allowing us to present today for this RFQ. It's been a long time coming for us. We've been scraping and crawling trying to get in with you guys, so we appreciate the opportunity today. I'm going to go through the agenda here. We're going to follow this to the point and try to keep it short and simple for you. Introduction for Gulf Point. I'm Tommy Huther, Vice President and part owner. We started in 1985, about 37 years ago. In those 37 years, I think we've done probably about 20 to 25 years of continuing contract work with 3 different municipalities. And I think it's very important because we're able to keep that continuing contract work throughout those 25 years. And we have a really good relationship with those clients. And here's our org chart. This is the team that's out of our office. It's grown exponentially over the past 3 or 4 years, which we're really excited about. Just want to highlight some of the people that are here with us today. My father, John Huther, who started our company, he is our executive director. Myself, Tommy Huther, who's a project superintendent, also one of the point of contacts for our one of our continuing contract partners. Joe Jamison, who is our project engineering coordinator, who is also point of contact for one of the other continuing contracts that we do. JD Huther that you see there shaded out, he would be your point of contact for this. He was not able to make it today. He had prior engagement, so that will be your point of contact though, and he is our senior project manager and also part owner as well. So jumping into our methodology and approach, this is our 6 steps. I'm going to go through kind of how we take on projects, and we call this Operation Excellence. And we're going to jump right in here to our safety. We understand how important safety is here at the Port Authority, and the number there that I kind of want to hit on is 0. 0 incidents and 0 accidents, and that's not a mistake throughout our 37 years of doing work here. We take the time before any project starts, and we sit down with our subcontractors so they understand what we expect out of them. Furthermore, on top of that, we have partnered up with a local firm that does safety logs for us weekly. They come in, do reports. Those reports do go back to the owner. They come back to us. So if there's any discrepancies, we're able to remedy that right away so that those safety incidents don't happen. Digging in a little bit more with the safety and security, all our team members, as well as any of our subcontractors, since we do work with Lee County School District, you can be assured they're badged, they're fingerprinted, they're background checked. We know that there's extra security in the Port Authority. We have done work. We have done work with the on site here before, so we do understand those needs. Also, with our contact-free facial recognition, that's a step further that we take. That's placed at every single one of our projects. When you come on site, you have to scan in. If you're not in our database, it does alert us that you're not granted access. So we will come check, and if you are supposed to be there, we'll make sure that that's placed in the database. If not, we're able to escort that person out before he gets any further on site. So jumping into some of the technology here that we use during the process, and this is a mock-up system that's compatible with Procore. This mock-up system would be used for some of your higher-end continuing contracts, the $2 to $3 million jobs. It's a real nice tool for us. We're able to take what the architects built, put it into a mock-up system, as you see here, see any discrepancies, really see the best practices that are to be used, and really avoid any issues before the project's actually going and being built. Our scheduling and timeline, we understand that when we go through the process of continuing contracts, since we've done it over the past 25 years, scheduling and timeline is crucial. For some of the smaller end jobs, timing is really imperative. We don't want to be doing work longer than we have to or disturbing the area. So scheduling and timeline for us is very crucial as we go through the process. And you see here, this is for some of the larger projects that we're going to be doing, hopefully with you guys and partnering up with you on the $2 to $3 million jobs or even $1 million jobs. Our pole planning is done with our subcontractors. We put these whiteboards up in our trailers or on site, and we go through it daily with our subcontractors so they know and understand the expectations. This pole planning alone has saved us 2 or 3 months on our last two or three projects. Here's some of our tools. These tools are used in our pre-construction. I'm not going to go through them all. We just don't have the time, but just wanted to kind of show you our tools and the length of what we do. We take these tools for our pre-construction. You see we implement them here into our budgeting, all the way through the programming, which is the design start, through the permitting. As you see here with our 5 steps, we like to provide a detailed budgeting. It allows us to see where the budget's trending to. If the budget's trending upwards and it looks like the budget's going to be exceeded, we're able to stop and see that in the schematic design or even the design development phase. So we can come to you guys and so you understand if any budgeting needs to be decreased. So it allows us before the permitting starts to hammer down on the budget, so we're not getting the permit coming back to you guys asking for more money. And going right into what we like to call, as you heard from the other firm, is value engineering. We also don't like to use that term. We like to use value enhancement. Enhancing the project or enriching the project is something that we take pride in. You see here with our value enhancement log, going through each item, each trade, and being able to show you guys the savings so we're able to implement those savings back into a project. And as you see there, we've saved over $200 million from our owners over the 37 years. Our trade partners, this is a 1 through 9 step again that we go through for our bidding and our pre-qualification. The two items I really want to hit on is the educate and pre-qualify. We understand that when we go out to our subcontractors pre-qualifying, sometimes it gets a little scary for some of the smaller subs, DBE subs, the minority subs, women, WBE, and the veteran-owned subs. So we like to educate them. We sit them down. Sometimes we host trade fairs for them, where we make sure that they have an opportunity to bid on our work. We're local here. We want the local dollars to stay here, so we do everything we can to make sure that 100% of our work's local. Procore, again, a system that we use. It's our interface that we deal direct with each project. We're able to put all our projects in there, communicate with the owner, architect, subcontractors. Our 360 camera, another great tool that we use for closeouts during the project. Not going to get too deep into it. If you have questions about it, please let me know. But this helps streamline our closeout process at the end. Everything is in this digital file, and we were able to just hand it right over to you guys. Here's our experience in Lee County. Again, all our work is done here in Lee County. We truly love this county. We've been here our whole lives. I was born and raised here. Joe as well. My father started this company in '85, so we really appreciate and the partnerships that we've grown, and we hope to do that with you guys as well. Why Golf Point? Here's just a few projects. I wanted to show you guys some of the airport stuff we've done to show you that we have the experience. We're doing 12 T hangars right now as we speak with LaBelle. So we understand what it takes for the security. We understand some of the processes that it takes, the equipment needed for your trucks, on your person, and the security purposes. But those are some of the continuing contracts. We did do Delta Airlines in 2010. And of course, the top school, which is Benita High School, which is our biggest project year to date, is one of our pride and joys. So the conclusion, why Golf Point? Again, I'm just going to go through the points. 100% local team. We're here. We're local. All our work is here. Everyone on our list, our org chart, they're here local as well. They live here in Lee County. 100% dedicated team. What does that mean to you guys? 100% dedicated team transfers into the 24/7. If you guys have an issue ever on site, if you guys have a main water leak, which we've done before with our continuing contracts, you guys can call us any day, any time of the night, and we'll be here within an hour or 2 hours of that call. And we'll have a subcontractor here as well within the first 24 hours. So we want to show and we want to feel that true partnership, and that's what we bring. Nighttime work and occupied sites, again, you're working with our other partners. We do understand that with continuing contract, it's not always easy work. We do understand the nighttime work. We know how to schedule it, so when you guys come back in, things are clean, things are neat. We're not disturbing anybody, especially with the occupied sites. Lastly, the 37 plus years of experience. I think it speaks for itself, but we'd love that opportunity to partner up with you guys. We've been trying really hard, and we really appreciate this opportunity to come in front of you to join that partnership. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Comments or questions from the committee? Okay, seeing none, you can wrap up. You have 1 minute.
That's it. Wrapped.
All right. Pardon?
I'm wrapped up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, why don't we take a minute and you can go ahead and do the ranking. If there's any discussion among the committee, please go ahead. If not, you'll submit your rankings to, Deb, you picking them up or Melissa? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we're going to let them go ahead and tabulate. Emily, if you want to present item 17, I think it's 17. Yeah, 17, please. All right, quick roll around.
All right, Emily Underhill for the record. Administrative agenda item number 17. Beginning in May of this year, the Port Authority's A&E consultant, Atkins, began an 18-month-long effort to complete full design services to support the upcoming Terminal Expansion Phase 2 Gates Expansion Project. As you are aware, this project is anticipated to begin construction following completion of the current Terminal Expansion Phase 1 project and is expected to be the highest dollar value of any individual project in the airport's history. As such, as the design progresses, it is critical to have on board the entity that will assist the Port Authority in managing all aspects of the eventual construction. To achieve this, in August of this year, a solicitation was advertised to secure a construction manager for the project. The intent of the construction manager's role is to act as a construction manager, general contractor, and/or as a construction manager, all dependent on the receipt of different funding sources and their respective requirements. Either way, the selected firm will become a key member of the design team by providing their expertise and knowledge as it relates to constructability, construction phasing, construction sequencing, trade packaging, and cost estimating as the design progresses towards the bidding phase of the project. The LOQ number 23-02 solicitation specifically requested an organizational structure via either one, a team approach, meaning the prime firm plus a subconsultant firm, or secondly, as an alternative, by a sole individual firm. Either way, the respondent must demonstrate both Southwest Florida construction management experience and National Airport Terminal Building construction management experience. As a result, 3 responsive proposals were received. In order to assist you in your evaluation, Port Authority staff held a public meeting to review the submitted responses and proposal summaries, and they are included in your backup. Staff also scored the proposals from best to least based on criteria including concurrent workload, relevant project experiences of the construction manager prime consultant firm and their proposed project manager, as well as relevant project experiences of the construction manager subconsultant firm and their proposed leader. Resumes and project experiences by key staff members listed were also considered. As a result, staff recommends, first, that the Airport Special Management Committee shortlist all 3 responsive firms, being PCL Construction Services, Inc., Suffolk Construction Company doing business as Suffolk, teamed with Wright Construction Group, Inc., and third, Turner Construction Company, teamed with DeAngelis Diamond. And second, asking special management to hear, and this is due to the size of the project, oral 15-minute presentations with unlimited Q&A period at a future Airport Special Management Committee meeting before presenting a recommended ranking to the board. If in agreement, I would ask Melissa to come forward and randomly select the order of presentations. Otherwise, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions or comments from the committee? Randy?
Well, I say we hear the applicants on this, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
I
any other
moved it.
comments?
I agree.
Okay.
All right.
You want a motion?
Do we, Mark, we don't need a motion on this, we're just gonna, or do we?
Yes,
To rank it?
to select the 3 candidates.
Okay, after we
shortlist the
select.
3.
Just,
Okay.
the motion would be just a short list.
I
That's
move
correct.
we go with the recommendation made by staff. We hear oral presentations from the 3 different companies that staff has identified as being capable of handling the work that's being allocated for this project.
For the 15 minutes, as she
For the
suggested.
15 minutes.
Yes, like today, we normally had 10, we're extending it to 15 just because of the size of the project. We feel that's warranted.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, which I will hold to see if there's any comment from the public. Okay, seeing none, item 17 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, item 17 is carried, and we'll now do the,
Selection.
That's right. So
pick the straws or whatever.
yes,
You have 'em?
Chair, if you would please determine randomly the order of presentations through front.
Okay,
Thank you.
we can let our colleague at the end.
Barb?
He's trustworthy. We've
Yeah,
known him a long
that's
time.
not why. Maybe we better.
Right. Suffolk Wright Construction Group is first. Turner Construction Company, paired with D'Angelo's Diamond, will be second. And then third is PCL Construction Services, Inc. Thank you very much.
She knew that without you picking
Great
up.
job.
I did.
Great job, Dana.
We want to make sure there wasn't a ringer in the basket.
Do we have the results? Okay, I'll let Melissa get settled there, and then we'll, if you got them, Melissa, or you need a minute? You're all set?
See what we got.
Good.
Okay. Hold on one second. All right, regarding LOQ 2266, Construction Manager, General Contractor Services for Lee County Port Authority. The ranking is as follows. First ranked firm, Owens, Ames, Kimball. Second is Gulf Point. Third is Half Acre, and fourth is A Squared. Thank you, and happy holidays, everybody.
Okay, I need a motion,
Yes.
please, to accept the,
I make a motion, we approve the ranking as read by Melissa.
okay, I have a motion on item 17 to accept the ranking. May I please have a second? Second. I have a second. Item 17, ranking has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
It's actually item 16.
Pardon?
It was item 16.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Small correction. Okay.
you got the correction. It should have said 16.
I'm sorry.
He's in pain.
Yeah, where's my key? Okay, no, I forgot. I had already taken, okay. I need a vote.
Yes.
All those in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, we can move on to the executive director items. Ben?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, we've been reporting some reductions in service and capacity over the past several months for various reasons, but we do have some new service announcements that have taken place as a result of a couple of airlines. Sun Country Airlines inaugurated service to Eau Claire, Wisconsin yesterday, which we are excited about. And in February, American Airlines will be adding daily service to Austin, Texas. And also in February, Avelo Airlines will start non-stop service to Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, and Wilmington, Delaware. So we're excited about some of these new service announcements in light of some of the other things that have been going on. I'd like to recognize a few of our employees that have had some exciting things going on. First, I'd like to recognize Dave Amdor. Dave, if you could stand up, I'm gonna embarrass you a little bit. Dave is our Director of Finance, and he was recently chosen as one of the 2022 bond buyer Rising Stars, which is a trade newspaper. The goal of the Rising Star Initiative has been to identify municipal finance professionals under the age of 40 whose leadership, collaborative spirit, innovation, and creativity has enabled them to make a positive contribution. Dave's been with the Lee County Port Authority since 2020, and we're very proud that he received this recognition. And actually, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, you did go to, was it Washington, D.C. to receive this award? I did. Was that? Yeah, that's right. So anyway, great job, Dave, and congratulations on that.
Yes.
Next, I'd like to recognize both Brandon Seeley, our manager of communications, and Arlie McMillian, our manager of airfield and ground maintenance. If you two gentlemen could stand up, thank you. They both recently received their certification member designation from the American Association of Airport Executives. This certification involves a 180 question exam to test knowledge in several areas, including airport administration, finance, development, maintenance, and operations. Usually it's a pretty intense course that you take, and it's a pretty intense exam as well. So I'd like to congratulate both of them on a job well done, and congratulations. Last, I'd just like to remind everybody, I know we've been talking about, capacity reductions over the past several months, and those are off, our busiest year ever in the history of the airport. We will continue to be busy, and just want to remind everybody to get here early if you're traveling during the holidays. Parking, as with most airports during this time of year, is challenging, so get here early, get your parking spot. Allow extra time to get here. The roads are busy, and with that, I'd just like to thank you all for your support during the year, and wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
So, that's all I have.
Any questions of Ben from the committee? Mark, are there any items from the attorney?
No items, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the staff for what has been a wonderful year with a lot of difficulty. Following on the pandemic, then we had a hurricane, and I don't want anything more. You've done a wonderful job, and you're to be congratulated. Okay? And I'd also like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year on behalf of the committee. And committee members have anything to add?
Merry Christmas.
Same.
Okay, public, you got one more shot on anything you want. Seeing no comments, I declare this meeting adjourned.
Yay. All right. Merry Christmas.
I gotta run.